King Charles III made a decision so striking, so deeply personal, that even those closest to the crown were left speechless. He reached into the very heart of his marriage, took a crown long associated with Queen Camilla.
She was promised a crown, and she wore it proudly. But now, the woman who waited decades to stand beside the King of England may be watching everything slowly slip through her fingers.
In recognition of her own loyal public service since our marriage 17 years ago, she becomes my queen consort.
A significant power shift is currently underway, and it is seismic. King Charles, the man Camilla has stood by through scandal. 45 seconds. Humiliation, and the shadow of Princess Diana is reportedly reshaping the future of the monarchy around one woman. And it is not his wife.
And no one moves a limb, a muscle, when Camilla passes. And that was because they were angry with Camilla. Camilla brought 20 Parker Bowleses to the coronation. There were 4 Middletons.
Stay with me, because this story is far from over. The crown Camilla fought for may not be the one she truly keeps. To understand why, we need to go back to the beginning. When King Charles III married Camilla Parker Bowles on April 9, 2005, at Windsor Guildhall, the reaction was cold, almost hostile. The shadow of Princess Diana was still everywhere, and public opinion was firmly against them. The palace knew it, so they made a promise. Clarence House announced that when Charles became king, Camilla would not be called queen, but princess consort. It sounded like humility. It was actually strategy. Because here's the truth. There has never been a princess consort in British history. Legally, under common law, Camilla was always going to be queen. That promise wasn't a rule. It was a temporary shield. Then came May 6, 2023, Coronation Day, at Westminster Abbey. That promise quietly disappeared. Camilla entered as queen consort, was anointed, crowned, and officially placed beside the king. But the real story wasn't just the ceremony. It was the message. Observers noticed immediately. Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, were pushed to the side. Not ignored, but clearly secondary. The spotlight was tightly controlled. And then came the detail that said everything. At Charles's request, no one else was allowed to wear crowns or tiaras. Not even Catherine. Instead, she and Princess Charlotte wore floral headpieces. It was deliberate. This was Camilla's moment, and no one was allowed to outshine her. But something unexpected happened. By dimming Catherine's light in front of the world, they didn't reduce her power. They delayed it, because the world was watching, and people were already choosing sides. Then, in 2024, Charles made a move that changed everything. He publicly backed Catherine. He appointed her Colonel of the Irish Guards, a powerful military role tied to royal tradition and symbolism. This wasn't just a title. It was positioning. On the same day, Camilla was given a ceremonial role, Grand Master of the Order of the British Empire. Both honors mattered, but they did not feel equal, and the public noticed instantly. Social media exploded. Comparisons flooded TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. Within 48 hours, millions had already drawn the same conclusion. Charles was building Catherine's future in real time. This wasn't routine. This was legacy planning. Charles understands something very clearly. The future of the monarchy rests on William and Catherine. And he is making sure that future is strong, visible, and undeniable, even if it creates pressure inside the palace. Then came January 2026. A headline changed everything. The Times featured Catherine with a bold title. Arise, Queen Kate. Not future queen. Not maybe. Queen. The message was clear. Her reign wasn't just expected, it was already being imagined. The article described her as a modernizer, a listener, a leader in waiting. And the timing? Perfect. She had just returned to public duties after her cancer treatment. Her popularity was at its peak. Polls showed her at the top, above every other royal. Meanwhile, Charles ranked lower. Camilla even lower. That gap wasn't small. It was massive. And insiders say Camilla felt it. Not publicly, but privately. The rise of Catherine wasn't just noticeable. It was overwhelming. Think about that. A woman who waited decades, endured scandal, and fought to become queen now finds herself overshadowed by someone who never chased a crown at all. And that is the real shift. Because in the monarchy, power isn't just about titles. It's about perception. And right now, perception has already chosen the future. If history follows its usual path, Camilla Parker Bowles will not remain simply queen forever. She would be known as Queen Dowager, a title that sounds respectful, but carries a quiet truth. Former queen, after decades of waiting, fighting, and enduring public judgment to finally wear the crown, she may one day be gently moved aside by history itself. And that reality is already setting in. Reports suggest Camilla hoped for something more. A smoother transition. A clearly defined role in the future reign of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. A place that acknowledged everything she had done. But the palace response? Firm, controlled, and unmistakably clear. The future comes first, not the present. Because inside the monarchy, there is one rule that never changes. The institution protects the crown, not the individual wearing it. And for Camilla, that may be the hardest truth of all. To understand why this shift feels so powerful, you have to look at one name that still shapes everything. Princess Diana. She wasn't just a royal figure. She was the woman who made the world fall in love with the monarchy. And her loss? Almost broke it. For nearly 3 decades, King Charles III has lived under that shadow. Every event, every appearance, every comparison, Diana has never truly left the story. And now history is echoing again. Because once again, the monarchy is being defined by the woman the public connects with most. This time, it's Catherine. And Charles knows it. That's why his approach is different. Royal experts have pointed out something subtle but important. The level of public support Charles shows Catherine was never given to Diana. Not by him. Not even fully by the late Queen Elizabeth II. And that changes everything. Because this time, the future queen is being protected early. Strengthened before pressure arrives. Positioned before the crown even passes. Some analysts believe this is more than strategy. It's correction. A quiet attempt to make sure the next Princess of Wales is never left exposed the way Diana was. And it's working. Because the language around Catherine has already shifted. She's being called the monarchy's greatest asset. The jewel in the crown. Those aren't casual phrases. They're signals. Signals of trust. Signals of direction. Signals of the future. And the public? They've already made their decision. From 2023 to 2026, Catherine has consistently ranked among the most influential figures. She became one of the most searched royals in the UK. Featured globally. Recognized not just for status, but for impact. And what makes her rise even more powerful is what she went through. A serious health battle. Time away from the spotlight. Raising 3 children privately. Then returning composed, focused, and stronger. She didn't ask for sympathy. She earned respect. And that changed how people see her. Not just as a royal figure, but as a real person. Now compare that to Camilla's position. She has done meaningful work. Advocating against domestic abuse. Supporting important causes. But her public image? Still complicated. Because it's tied to how her story began. Her relationship with Charles during his marriage to Diana left a mark that never fully disappeared. Even after years of rebuilding her reputation, acceptance came slowly and never completely. That's the uncomfortable truth. Camilla could do everything right from this point forward and still never match Catherine's popularity. Because in a monarchy, some roles are shaped by history, by emotion, by timing, and Catherine holds all 3. She is the mother of the future king. She is the figure the public trusts. And long before any official coronation, she has already been accepted. Even online, the shift is obvious. Royal coverage has changed. Headlines, thumbnails, engagement. Catherine dominates. Because the algorithm reflects attention. And attention reflects the public. And right now, the public has chosen. So what does this mean for the future? One day, there will be a coronation. Grand. Historic. Watched by billions. Catherine will be crowned alongside William, formally becoming queen. But many believe the real coronation has already started. Quietly, step by step, in every appearance, every title, every moment of public support. Because when William becomes king, the difference will be clear. Camilla's queenship carried history, complexity, questions. Catherine's will carry something else. Clarity, stability, and overwhelming support. As for Camilla's future role, it will depend on tradition, practicality, and public perception. The monarchy evolves. It adapts. And right now, it's adapting toward one clear direction. Charles may ultimately be remembered not just as king, but as the man who secured the transition, who made sure the next reign was ready, who didn't leave the future to chance, and who quietly made it clear who would lead it. Today, the crown sits on Camilla's head, but the story of the future, that already belongs to Catherine. If you made it this far, drop your thoughts below. Does Camilla deserve more recognition? Or is Catherine simply the right figure for what comes next? Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.